up, my hippies? How are you doing today? Mark Christopher here with another Hippie Pick interview. Today, we are interviewing a very cool guy. His name is Matt. Matt is not a pick maker, but he is a fan of picks. And I feel like it's very important to not only interview the pick makers of the pick making community and get their backstory, but to educate and encourage you guys to actually go out and buy other guitar picks other than your 50-cent standard guitar pick. I came across Matt actually on Instagram. He posted up a video and I happened to find it and I thought that was really cool. And so I was like, man, it's a great video. And I saw that he was in my area. He's probably about like 30, 40 miles away from me. And I thought, what? That's really cool. So today, it's not about me. It's not about hippie picks, but it's about my friend Matt. So let's hear it for Matt. Matt, hello. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Awesome. How are you doing today, Matt?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Awesome, man. What's a nice guitar you got? What do you got there?
This is my number one. It's an old gold top Les Paul that I've just used a ton as time has gone on. I didn't get it all that long ago, really. Probably going on 2 years now, but I've used this on everything since I got it.
Nice. Well, that was going to be a question I asked is, do you play? And if so, what? But yeah. You've already got the guitar there ready. Is guitar the only thing you play?
Mainly. I play bass, mandolin, can do a little bit on banjo. If it's got strings, I can kind of figure it out. Yeah. But guitar would be the only thing I'd probably say I'm a guitar player. I'm not sure that I'd call myself a bass player or anything like that in the truer sense of the term, but
understand. So Matt, I kind of was talking a little bit before you came on about how we met through Instagram, but so where are you from, man?
I'm from Northern Kentucky. Been here my whole life. Here, Cincinnati, that whole area.
Okay, all right. So you got a guitar, but what type of music do you play?
A little bit of everything. The stuff that I really like doing personally, rock, blues, jazz, funk, kind of a mix of all those together, which kind of ends up veering towards the jam band side of things.
Yeah.
Where I can really blend all those together. But, when I'm not doing that, I'll be playing country stuff, bluegrass, really, you name it.
Okay, so a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Nice. And so what got you into playing music?
I didn't start until I was a senior in high school, which is later than most of my friends. But really what got me going was a buddy of mine had Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. This is almost like a cliche story to tell. But he had Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. I was listening to it. I was like, this is pretty cool. And then when Time came on and there's that big solo break, by the time half the solo went by, I was like, I'm sold. I have to learn to play guitar. And I had family members that tried to get me to learn when I was younger, but I was just never into it. So that's, I started when I started. I got the motivation from that, and here we are.
Nice. Awesome. So I'm assuming you're in a band or something?
Yeah, I'm in a couple. I have my own, which is called the Electric Indigo. We're more of the whole jam bandy, funk, rock, blues kind of deal. Okay. It's mainly all originals, aside from jamming some songs here and there and doing some covers here and there. Aside from that, I'm in it's more of a country rock, southern rock group called 1 Degree from Mandy out of Fort Wright.
Okay.
And we've been doing that for a long time too.
Nice. So, I mean, is it a success or just local or just for fun, or what's the goal?
The goal really is just to see where it goes. With the 1 Degree from Mandy thing, that's run by a guy named Ryan Wilson. And, we've done some travel shows. We've played all over the place and, crowds all over in terms of sizing from small to big. So there's that one. The Electric Indigo one's more so my personal band where I can do what I really, want to do and have fun, and I have complete control over it. Whereas most of the time outside of that, I'm usually taking more of a sideman role or, just the guitar player role. So it's nice to have both those different outlets there.
Which I think as a musician, you actually need both of those because for myself, when I started playing when I was a kid, I had no formal training, so I didn't really know what the heck I was doing, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But like I knew, excuse me, I knew how to make something sound cool, you know. And
Right.
so you have this outlet where you can make and express yourself, which is great. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, dude, I mean, if you're out there and you're watching this and you are like, what do I play? Play whatever you want, make
Yeah.
it, which is great. That being said, you can also collaborate with other people, other bands who are doing their own thing, and you go, yes, sir, I can do that. I know how to do that, you know, and you get more exposure. You know, you get tons of time to play and go out to different venues and experience different things by being open to that. Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah, and you learn a ton from it. I mean, you get to, especially if you're just starting off, because I was doing that before I did my own thing, and I didn't know anything about how to book gigs or any, how to do any of the business side of things when it came to music. So it was helpful for me because I learned how to do that stuff, and it was just nice to kind of gain that experience that you really kind of need if this is
Yeah.
what you want to do.
Yeah, it is great because like I've worked with several artists before back in my past, and like it takes a lot of the pressure off you. Just show up, do what you're
Yes.
gonna do. You know, do a little solo,
Yep.
improvise it a little bit, but you got the structure, and that's it. You just go and you have a great time. You don't have to
Yes.
book the show. You don't have to stress over selling tickets. You don't have to
Right.
do nothing. You know,
Yep.
which is great. You know, and that was always enjoyable for me when I used to tour with particularly a country artist. She's
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal, and we went all over the place, and we did so many shows, and it was like her thing. It was either her originals or covers or whatever, but I got to express my individuality
Yeah.
in that in that zone while at the same adhering to obviously that's carrying your love with me by whoever
Yeah.
and you know it, but then you get an ad lib, but
Yes.
then you go to the other side, you're like, yeah, this is me, this is it, and you don't have to like it, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine, this is me working something out, maybe musically or figuring things out, and
Yeah.
both sides are awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. So where can people find your band's music?
Uh, your regular social media outlets right now. For the 1 Degree from Mandy stuff, he has stuff up everywhere. Your Spotify, Apple Music, all that. With the Electric Indigo stuff, we focused on being a live band so far. So we didn't have any recorded material on anything for a long time, but we did just record an album 2 months ago. It's currently in mastering, mixing and mastering. So that's getting done. And once all the extra fun stuff with all that is done, when it comes to album art and copyright, all that, that'll be up. Same places: Spotify, Apple Music, all that. So just if you check out Instagram, Facebook, you'll see it.
Awesome. So we're here today to talk about guitar picks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what Hippie Picks is all about. Custom guitar picks, handmade guitar picks. And you being a musician, I'm sure you have your opinion of what you like to play, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this right off the bat. Are you the fan of the 50 Cent normal guitar pick from Guitar Center?
No, not particularly.
Sorry, I'm not trying to slam Guitar Center in their pick, but there's a reason why us guitar pick makers make something different than the normal pick. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this: what type of picks do you play?
I play a couple different ones depending. My real go-tos thus far have been a Dunlop Jazz 208, so nothing crazy. It's a Dunlop 2 millimeter, pretty thick, pretty rounded as well. I had a buddy of mine who's a jazz guitarist who turned me on to these, and I started using them a lot. So these see a lot of time. On acoustic, V-Pick makes the Tradition. I'll use these as well. Kind of hard to see because it's clear.
Yeah.
But that's another one that I think that's probably 2.5 millimeter. Again, lots of bevels. So I definitely veer towards thicker picks with a good amount of beveling on them. Every now and then I'll use a Jazz 3. Downside to them, I've got really big hands, so it's almost too small. But when I really need to go fast, sometimes I'll use it. It does give me more control. Those are really the big three out of them all that I'll use.
and they're bigger, they're thicker picks, which like you mentioned. Let me ask you this, because dude, I'm a pick maker, but I love V picks. Absolutely love V picks. What got you turned on to Vinny's V picks?
The first thing, honestly, was I was working at a music store that sold them, and I hadn't messed with them all that much before. I think I'd bought one a while back before that, but working there, they had the whole gambit of them. So I bought a couple of them and started playing them. And some of their picks, like the Tradition, they have one, the Nashville, I think it's called. Yeah. I just dug them. And it was one of those things really where
You're cutting in and out there, buddy.
that were built that way. Oh, there
Sorry.
we go. I like thicker picks. What's that?
Can you, you cut out there. Can you repeat what you were saying a second ago?
Yeah. So I just, it was a thing where I like thicker picks. And you don't see them a lot. Like if you're going in a music store, you don't really see that in packs at all. So they just kind of appealed to me in that regard. And that's what I started using.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can we shamelessly plug the place that you used to work at? Because I think that's the same place where I got my pick, my first V pick. Would you like to?
Yeah, probably was. Yeah, sure. It's Willis Music in Florence, right there on Mall Road. Worked there for I don't know how long, but.
Now here's what's weird, okay? Like earlier when I was talking to you, or I was talking to you, I was talking to the viewers before I brought you in. I was talking about how you and I had not met. We just became friends on Instagram. But you worked at the same music store that I used to frequent, and we didn't know each other. I'm sure I might have met you, might have bought something from you, but like we didn't establish that friendship until just recently, correct?
Yeah, for sure. And it was funny because when I came across your page, I was like, this guy looks familiar, and I couldn't place it. I was like, something looks really familiar, but I couldn't figure it out. And then it was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I know him. Yeah.
But
yeah, actually, so what's funny is I got my first V pick from the same music store you did, Willis Music. Yep. There was a guy in there. I got the Mummy.
Oh yeah.
The Mummy's insane. And I said to the guy, and it wasn't you, because I know the guy who sold me the pick. And I said, dude, this will slice your fingers in half. And he said, no, it won't. I said, and I squeezed it. I said, yeah, it will. He said, why don't you play it? And I was like, no, I can't play this. And he said, I tell you what, buy it, and if you don't like it, bring it back tomorrow. Well, I bought it, and a week later, I went back and bought the store out of their Mummy picks because I loved it that much. I had never known that there was another side to picks.
Yeah.
What is this? This is insane. That's so cool. So, what gets you excited about a new pick? Why would you consider buying a new pick? Like, because you see these and you go online, you go, ooh, that looks cool. But what turns you on kind of to like going, I would like to get that?
Well, I mean, it seems superficial, but the first thing that you really do notice is how a pick looks. So like when I saw yours, the whole arrowhead design, I was like, that's pretty sick. That's neat. So, that's what draws you in. But then just looking at, again, the sizing, how it's beveled, how it's made, where it's made, all that plays a factor. But it all makes a really big difference. And people can really underestimate how much a pick can make a difference because it's literally what's connecting you to the guitar.
Yeah.
And if you have something that can translate what you're thinking in your head to how you're playing, then you're good. But if you have a pick that doesn't agree with you, or it's not made well, or it's not reacting to your playing how you want it to, it's just another obstacle in the way of getting that sort of stream of consciousness going when you're playing.
It makes it difficult, but you're also not focused. You're concentrating on what's the problem. You're trying, and you're not just concentrating on the music and just going in expressing that musically. So would you like to demo and kind of explain what you're talking about via guitar?
Sure thing. Let me
so what are you going to use first?
I'll do some, I'll use one of your Hippie picks here. This is the 1.5 millimeter arrowhead.
Okay.
Let me do this real quick so it doesn't clip the mic.
All right, so let me ask you this. Pros and cons, because I'm not biased. Pros and cons to that pick.
Honestly, I'm not really thinking of any cons on it, and that's straight up honest. I've had a chance to play it since I got them. I've had quite some time to play them, and I've not found any downsides to them. They've got the thickness I want. They have the control that I want. There's no issue with that translation, like I was talking about before. The material's really nice. It doesn't slip out of your hand, which is something that I run into sometimes, especially with some composite materials. Even V-Picks sometimes I'll run into that every now and then, depending on what model it is. Almost it seems, but it's all pros really with it. I feel plenty of control. There's nothing obstructing my speed either. If I want to play really quick, I can play really quick. It's not an issue. So
okay, all right. Would you like to demo a different pick?
yeah, sure. Let's do
Hopefully one less good. I'm just kidding. Right? It makes mine look really awesome there. I'm just kidding. Demo whichever one you want, man. This is your show.
Let's do a regular, just kind of your standard. This is just a reverb pick. So it's different enough to where it might give some insights.
Nice, man. You're a phenomenal player, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. No, yeah, it's not bad. Not the same amount of control there. It also kind of bugs me. You can hear it coming through the amp really. Yeah. When you have a thinner pick, you can almost hear more of you can hear the attack a little bit more. You can hear some pick noise, a little bit of clickiness, I guess you could say, here and there.
So when I was a kid, I didn't understand what that was, right? But there was a Metallica song, and I'm not gonna name it, but like I used to like the song. And then one day I was like, what is that? What is, and like ever since then I could hear, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then one day I went, oh, it's the pick going, and you could hear the, and once I heard that, it was like I could never hear the song again.
You can't.
Because all I could hear is,
you're
a phenomenal musicianship. I'm not slamming them, but you can hear the pick hit the string. Not the notes, not the sound, not the frequency or vibration, but you can hear the pick go.
Yeah, and when you tune into that, it's so hard to get it out of your head. I kind of realized that when I was in classical guitar at NKU, and when you do that, they pay a lot of attention to your nails on your picking hand and making sure that you file them the right way, paying attention to the shape. And if you don't, file your nails to sort of a rounded edge or a ramp, as you may say. If you have any squared off parts and you're picking, when you're sitting there in a practice room for ages and you're picking, you start to hear it a lot. And it's the same effect of something scraping against a string. You can hear it. Yeah. Most people might not notice it if they're in the audience or something, but when you're hearing that, when you're hearing it and you're like, and it's getting in your head, again, yet another thing that's going to not allow you to focus on what you're trying to do. So.
Yeah. Well, but dude, 100% agree. And as soon as we get done with this interview, I'm going to ask you about your days as a classical guitarist at NKU.
Yeah.
I also have some friends who I'm willing to bet you were in class with.
Probably.
Yeah, we'll name drop them after this video,
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. You're a fan of picks. You understand the importance of actually having a good quality pick, yeah?
Yeah,
Have you ever made a pick?
I've not. I've been tempted to a couple times, but I've never made one. That would be fun, though.
What's stopping you?
Nothing really. I just knowledge, I guess. I'm not even sure how I'd approach it or what tools would be needed or anything. With the internet now, I can probably figure that out. But it's, it would be neat and just messing with materials. I saw you made those picks out of deer antlers, and that was cool. That was really cool.
That was my father-in-law's idea. He approached me one day and said, Mark, I've been wanting to do this, and I have no idea how. But he found some sheds in his yard, and he said, I wanted to make you a pick, but I have no idea how to make a pick. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to give this to you, and I want you to see if it's a thing. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So we sliced it up on the bandsaw. We sliced up some pieces, and I took it, and I did what I normally do, sort of, to it, and I gave it to some buddies, right? I gave it to like 3 guys on my hippie camp. I call it the hippie camp. They're my test group, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the first guy I gave it to, we played in church on Sunday, and he said, dude, you're not getting this back. I was like, yeah, but like, that's my pick. He goes, no, this is freaking awesome. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm onto something.
Yeah.
And so then I went shed hunting in my backyard, found a ton of antlers and sliced them up and started doing that. But here's the thing, man, like you can make a pick out of almost anything.
Yeah.
You know? You can. And it's not, I want to say this, and because I want to encourage the people watching this, that you can do anything, okay? You can be as awesome as this guy is on guitar. You can be a killer pick maker. You can make something that nobody's ever even thought of before. And it doesn't matter if you know how or not. When I first started making picks, I wasn't making picks. I was making Christmas presents for my family.
Yeah.
Out of wood. And I had a little piece of wood left over one project, and I had a guitar pick in my pocket, and I went, oh, you know what? I want to see if I can make one of these for my buddy. And I did. It wasn't the best, but that was okay. Yeah. And then from there, I started just getting pieces of wood and trying and figuring it out. And then here's what's cool. Here's what's really cool. How long have you been playing guitar?
Oh, let's see. Senior in high school, so about 6 years. About
6 years. So you know dead on what a guitar pick feels like.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to be blindfolded and somebody were to hand you a lemon and a guitar pick, you would be able to tell the difference, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's second nature to you. So when I started making the picks, I didn't have to think about it. It was second nature because you're using your hands. You may use a sander or sandpaper or like a file or something, but the guitar pick in your hands, it's second nature. You go, I know exactly, and you know when it's right because you know what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
So, dude, I'm going to encourage you, make a guitar pick.
Yeah, I might have to. That'd be fun. I'm sure I've got some stuff sitting around that I could make one out of.
Would love to see what you come up with, because I think you know the guitar pick making community is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think you know you have all these people trying and creating unique, different products and different ways to make the experience of playing guitar better. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, Matt, I greatly appreciate your time, man. Is there anything else you want to say to the people watching out in the internet world before we go?
Not too much. You know, if you're interested in anything I'm doing, check it out. My Instagram is Matt Goetz Guitar. The band pages, like I said, Electric Indigo, The Electric Indigo, and 1 Degree from Mandy. We're just about everywhere. I'm just about everywhere on all the social media platforms. So
links will be attached below. So if you're watching this on YouTube, there's links down below to follow this guy and see what he's doing and keep up with him. You do some reviews here and there. You do videos on Instagram, and then you're in these bands, and I'm pumped. I'm pumped to see what you do next, my man.
Thank you.
Hey,
I am too.
Contigo? Is that a Contigo cup?
It is a Contigo
dude,
cup.
Oh, I love those. So a couple years ago, my little sister got me one, and dude, it's insane. It's insane. I had a job where I was working outside, and I put ice and water in my cup in the morning, and went to my job site and left with my buddy and forgot the cup in the car, right? And it was like 100 and something degrees that day. It sucked. It was so hot. And so I worked the entire day. On my way home, the next day I'm headed into work, and I realized, oh man, you know, I didn't refill my cup or nothing. So I picked it up, shook it. It was still full of ice. And I'm like, what? This company is awesome.
I am a hopeless coffee addict, and I'm kind of I use this for coffee. And if I have to go give lessons, which is another thing too, if you're looking for lessons, hit me up. But when I'm teaching lessons, if I'm teaching for a couple hours at a time and I don't have any breaks, I'll fill it up, stays hot the whole time. And no, it's nice. like
So
not having to worry about that.
do you give lessons online? Do you do private lessons online?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I mean, you could be in Germany watching this video right now, and
Right.
how good would it be to call you? But if you do it online, so what do you teach? Acoustic, guitar, what?
Any of it at all. Acoustic, electric, most genres, just like anything, there's some that I can do better than others, but I can figure most things out. So just about anything you're interested in, I can usually facilitate it.
Now, how do you spell your last name? Because I know you said it, and it looks different than the way you said it. So
It-
confuse people.
Yeah, it's weird. The last name's Goetz. So it's yeah. It just gets. I don't know. It sounds like there wouldn't be that O in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what throws it off.
Yeah. All right. Cool, man. Well, it was great to talk with you. I will talk to you soon. I hope you have a great day and keep rocking, man. What you're doing is awesome.
Thank you.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Take care.
See ya. That was my man, Matt. Matt is awesome. I really enjoyed talking to him today. That's actually the first time I got to talk with him since we became friends on Instagram. We messaged each other here and there, but we haven't actually had this personal interaction before. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can do anything you set your mind to. This guy didn't start playing until he was in high school, almost a senior. Now he's doing classical guitar. He's got bands. He's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. You can do anything you set your mind to. I believe in you, and I know you can do it. I would like to say thank you to Classic Barbershop for sponsoring today's show. If you're ever in Williamstown, Kentucky, which I don't know why you would be, but if you are, come here, get your hair cut. This guy is awesome. Incentive, we have this isn't an Arrowhead, but we have Hippie Pick Arrowhead guitar picks here available for sale, along with my regular stuff. We'd also like to thank Landrum Investments for providing the material to do this project, to do this show. And remember, you can do anything you want. And don't let that stop you. Don't say, oh, I can't. I've never done that before. Well, I used to not play guitar. And then one day I learned, and now I can. I used to not be a pick maker, but I figured it out, and now I'm a pick maker. You can do anything you set your mind to. Don't ever believe the negative lies that says you can't just because you never have before. That's a lie. You can do anything. I promise you. Listen, I love you. I hope you have a great day. He loves you. And don't forget to be a hippie.